Hello, I'm Gail Whiffen-Coyle, Associate Editor of Friends Journal, and today I'm talking with Gabbreell James in this author chat. Gabbreell is an author in our October issue on the experiences of Friends of Color, and Gabbreell joins us from Philadelphia. She's a member of Green Street Meeting and also the clerk of the Hospitality Committee at Green Street, and she was raised Quaker at Woodbury Meeting in New Jersey. And her article is called There is Hope, and it tells the story of her journey and how she found her current spiritual home at Green Street Meeting. Thank you for joining me today, Gabbreell.
Thanks, good to be here.
So your article takes more of an optimistic approach. Even in the title, it's called There is Hope. And this is something we actually talked about while we were editing your article. You and I were editing your article for publication, because even though you had some bad experiences at other monthly meetings, it was important that you took more of the optimistic perspective. Can you share a little bit about why that was important to you?
Well, as I went to people of color gatherings and met other people of color from around, Quakers of color from around the country, I realized how many had bad experiences. And so when I knew this French journal was coming out, I guessed, I was pretty sure that a lot of the articles would be kind of rough, kind of hard, and that I wanted the friends of color who were at meetings where they weren't really comfortable to know that every meeting wasn't like that.
Okay. Yeah, and that sort of is what ended up happening. A lot of the stories were more rough, and so it was nice to see more of an optimistic perspective in the mix of things. So you also talk about in your article the moment that you decided to join Green Street, and this was after thinking that you didn't think you had the time or the energy to be a member and you weren't so sure. And it sounded like that was really a turning point in your journey as a Quaker. Would you say that that's true?
Yeah, yes, because once I joined, I opened myself up for the possibilities of what it could mean to be a Quaker, what it could mean to be a member of my meeting. And then as I became more involved, and certain people in my meeting would ask me, can you do this? Can you do that? And I realized that, I had time. I had it if I wanted to put it that way, if I wanted to spend it that way. And as I decided to put more into my meeting, it's almost like they put more into me.
Mm-hmm. And you do say that once you joined, you did become more involved, joining committees and doing extra activities. And you say a quote from your article is that your meeting empowered you to be a servant leader. And I really like that phrase, servant leader, because it sort of seems oxymoronic, but it works together in an interesting way. And you also say that your meeting empowered you to be a servant leader and to speak your truth to the Quaker power structure. Could you explain a little bit more about what you mean by that and how your more involved role in the meeting has changed or shifted your perspective on Quakers and Quakerism?
Well, once I got involved, I was relatively quiet. I didn't speak a lot, and I just, during hospitality, friendly things that we had going on. But as I became more involved in the meeting, I was more drawn to add my opinion or my views to what was going on. And as people watched me, I guess, and saw what I had to say and how I interpreted events, they decided that I would be a good choice to go out and represent our meeting. So at first I didn't really know what to do when I went places as the representative from my meeting. I didn't know what that meant. And I went to a workshop at PYM sessions, and it taught me how to add my voice, but also keep in mind what in general my meeting would want or think, or how they would vote on something. Well, not vote, but approve or disapprove something. And once I kind of understood that I was there as myself, but also as part of that group, it became easier to participate and to share my views. My meeting also, when I first got on the PYM nominating committee and went out into the wider Quaker world, I didn't really like it. I didn't really enjoy it. And I went back to my meeting and told them, like, I don't really, I can't be here and not stand up and not speak and not just say how bad some things are. And they said, that's okay. Do it. Say what you need to say. Say what you think. Put it out there. And, if we could find a couple more people like you, then we could really make a change.
That's great. And you do talk about getting outside of the bubble of your own meeting, and that's not unique to you. A lot of people feel most comfortable in their meetings, and it's tough and uncomfortable to sort of branch out. That's a wonderful story. So as clerk of hospitality committee, I'm wondering if you sort of have advice for other meetings, or if you could also share a little bit about what you guys do at Green Street to be more mindful of hospitality, of visiting people, new potential members, and things that meetings can do to just be more welcoming to outsiders, to others, to friends of color.
Well, one thing that Green Street has, which we're just lucky, is our space. The actual space where the meeting is has a full kitchen, and we have a dining room. So it allows us to really welcome people and feed them. I think meetings do a lot of things wrong when new people show up, and it's not just friends of color. A lot of meetings, one person shows up with some cookies or some grapes and they have some coffee and that's it. If a family shows up, children tend to be hungry all the time. And meetings don't have enough food to make the parent, if the parent wants to stay and talk and hang out, they can't because the children want to leave. And so that's a thing that meetings do wrong. If they want to grow and if they want to have children there, first day school is a big part, but hospitality and welcoming is also a part of that. In our time at Green Street, when we're having hospitality, that's when we get to know everyone. That's how I get to see people together with their family, their children, their husbands, their wives, their partners, their spouses, whatever it might be. And that time, an hour, usually an hour and a half, we spend after meeting just getting to know each other, laughing and communicating. So when I go to other meetings and I see that their hospitality is small, I think they don't want me to stay. And then when, as a person of color, for me, I want you to speak to me the way you would speak to anyone else. I think a big problem that we have is that I'm other. You look at me as different, and now you don't know what to say. So you end up saying something like in Regina and Renee's article that, why are you even saying this to me? Why are you asking me these questions? If I come to you and I say I'm a Quaker, I was raised Quaker, to me it's very simple. What meeting did you grow up in? What did you ever go to FGC or PYM? There are simple questions that a person could ask me that do not have to be based around the fact that I'm not white.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that. I think that'll speak to a lot of people, and thank you for sharing. So I think that's all the time that we have today. You can read Gabbreell's article in the Experiences of Friends of Color issue, which is the current October issue. Thank you so much for talking with us today, Gabbreell.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye.